Well, good morning, traders. Welcome to followmetrades.com, the Saturday scanning session here. I am Dean Jenkins, founder of followmetrades.com, and I'm so thankful that you were set aside some time to join me here this morning as we try to find some great trades for the upcoming week and even beyond that. So again, welcome. Very good to be here. We've got a good number of folks already logging in. It looks like more logging in even as we're getting started here. So if you're new to the Zoom webinar platform, make sure you can locate some controls down there at the bottom. Make sure you can find the chat box, because I definitely welcome you to type in any questions as we get going here. I'll field them on the fly. And later in the session, I'll offer to analyze using my methods any trades that you're interested in. So go ahead and locate that chat box. There's also a little raise your hand icon. You can use that as I ask some questions. We might take some informal polls here going on. But type in where you're calling in from. It'd be great to make sure you can use that box. And it's always fun to see, you know, just the distribution geographically of folks. And Tim's calling in from Houston. Hey, Rob, Cohen, Dean, Cohen from the Netherlands. Mike from Mill Creek, Washington, just up the road. Calgary. Ellen, no way, from Tumwater. Nice. That's really close here. I'm in Olympia. Ashok is from Mysore, India. I think that's Ashley from Cambridge, UK. Hey, Scott, good morning. Ottawa, Randall. John from Connecticut. Jules from London. Michelle calling from France, awesome. Mike from Raleigh, North Carolina. We got a good portion of the globe covered already, and the U.S. Tulsa, Bob. Well, welcome. Good morning. Jerry found the raise your hand thing. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for typing that in. Kentucky. Rebecca's calling in from Kentucky. Welcome, Rebecca. All right. And I don't know about where you're at. Here in the Northwest, the pollen and the allergy season's just been brutal, off the charts, kicking my butt. But we'll power through it for sure. All right. Looks like, again, more folks are logging in. Hey, good morning and welcome. Thomas calling in from Fort Lauderdale. All right. Folks from all over. Yeah, trading is not geographically centric to anywhere, is it? Rob from Virginia Beach. Glad to have you here, Rob. All right, well, hey, let's kick this thing off. Let's go find some trades. That's what we're here about. You know, just a quick disclaimer before we get started. You know, I'm a trader. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice. I do share what I'm doing. And I, you know, for education and information purposes, I'm willing to share, you know, my trade setups and the trades that I'm looking at, my methods for finding them. But whether any individual places a trade, you know, makes a trade, place an order, that's strictly the decision of each individual. Only you know what's appropriate for you. So I offer, you know, share what I'm doing. I'm not giving financial advice. It's for education, information purposes only. If you don't know me, hey, I'm Dean Jenkins. I founded followmetrades.com. Been trading for a long time, you know, about 25 years. I started off as a fundamental analyst. You know, went to business school, learned how to do that. And that was a pretty frustrating endeavor, and over the years evolved into a technical trader. And you'll see that as we go analyze the charts. And so, you know, I think all the fundamental data about companies absolutely matters, but I also believe that all that information is being absorbed and acted on by the market participants, you know, kind of a variation of the efficient market theory where, you know, all known information is incorporated into the current price. And the price forms patterns, and, you know, based on what the participants think about all that financial information for a company, and they act on it, and there's patterns there that we can trade on. So I'm a technical trader. You know, it would be called swing trading. I'm looking for, you know, moves up or down. I use a combination of Ichimoku Cloud, Elliott Wave, a little bit of Dow theory, and just try to catch, you know, a breakout move on a trade, or a correction, or a continuation of the original trend. Try to keep it really, really simple. Typically in these Saturday morning sessions, I spend a few minutes going over my setups. But today, I think we're just going to jump into the charts, and I'll explain the setups kind of as we go. And I'd be happy, again, to field any questions along the way. And Gus, yeah, absolutely, we're recording it, and as long as the technology doesn't fail us, the recording will be captured, and I will send out a link. Absolutely. So again, usually I start off by looking at the setups. I'm going to try something different today. I'm just going to kind of jump into it. I am going to talk a little bit about, this is about scanning for trades, and you got to have some method for aiming your attention at the market. And I got a variety of methods I use to bring my attention to certain segments of the market. And I've demonstrated those. I've done this Saturday scanning session several times, demonstrated a few different techniques. And today we're going to do a little bit different technique. Let me get this out of the way, rearrange my desktop a little bit. So again, there's an infinite number of ways to approach the market and think about it. And so today, I'm going to start with, just by looking, I'll go ahead and turn the camera off so it's out of the way there. Not blocking any of the charts. You want to see the charts, you don't want to see me, right? So let's start by looking at the S&P 500. What do we know about the S&P 500? Well, it's been in a bull market for 9 years. That's pretty impressive. Earlier this year, bit of a shock when the first shots were fired in the discussion about the trade war. And since then, it's struggled, hasn't it? It's been a little volatile. It's been going sideways. There's an interesting pattern going on right now. I will show you with my handy dandy on-screen pen here. Get it configured correctly. You can see it. So just lately, there is a phenomenon in technical analysis called symmetry. And when you get symmetry in time and price, look at this price move up, this price move up, and this price move up. These are very, very similar in terms of time, how long they took, and the distance they moved, the price they moved. And then the pullbacks, this is a pretty classic sawtooth pattern here. Now this pullback wasn't quite the same, but the implication here is that this thing would pull back, probably continue this pattern. JD says I'm better looking than the charts. You're far too kind, sir, far too kind. So again, the implication here is this pattern has a high probability of continuing, until it doesn't. But it's showing some pretty clear signs that it might, that it's already started the next leg down, and we got the Ichimoku cloud. That's what this shaded green area is right here, projecting some potential support area. This white line is the 200 simple moving average, and you see we've found support, pretty much at the cloud and at the 200. So yeah, Patrick, higher highs, higher lows, and we're looking at a higher low, at least for now. So that's super interesting. So that's on my mind. And I like to just sit back and think, what's going on in the big picture? That's important to just, what's going on around us that could be affecting the markets. Let me pop the font up here so you can see it. So yeah, I just jotted some notes last night. What's the big picture right now? What do we have to look at? Well, we got GDP coming out on the Thursday of this week. That's a big report. There's other reports coming out, but I think that's the biggest one coming out. Not too far out in front of us, we got Q2 earnings season kicking off. Big bellwether. Alcoa is usually considered the official start to the earnings season. They're going to report on July 18th, so that's less than a month out in front of us. Earnings may have some headwinds. We got a strong dollar, which for multinationals, can affect their sales overseas for U.S.-based multinational corporations. Potentially rising raw material costs. Oil for sure has been going up, and potentially aluminum and steel, some others. And there certainly is a high degree of uncertainty over the trade disputes. So far it's been a war of words, but in July, presumably some tariffs are going to start kicking in, retaliation and the whole thing. So at a minimum, it's introducing some real uncertainty into the market. I just showed you technical indexes are showing some slowing momentum, potentially at least a short-term pullback. I believe the next leg of the oil rally might be starting. We'll look at that on the chart. We've got 2 more interest rates coming up. We have had 2 already. We've got low unemployment, but modest wage growth. And those are just some of my thoughts about the kind of the big economic picture, market picture. There's probably more that matters. Here's that pullback starting. And in terms of how the index is doing this year, it's a pretty good question. It's worth looking at. Dow Jones, year to date, it's off 0.5%. So after all the noise, after all the hand wringing and rallies and pullbacks, it's essentially flat. Dow Jones down 0.5%. It's been a tough trading year. Has it been tough for anybody else? I've got a multi-year track record of results, and it's published on my website. Oh, nice commercial there. That's awesome. Here's followingtrades.com, my home page, and here's my multi-year track record. And typically we're averaging over 4 or 5 years about 30% per year. This year we're getting off to a slow start, and it's been a tough year. When I look at the indexes, I go, well, I'm behind where I'd like to be, but I'm ahead of the indexes, and most money managers would kill to beat the indexes on a regular basis. My year-to-date results, closed trades, we've closed 30 trades. We're up about $3,000 in a $100,000 account. So, we're ahead. We're blowing the indexes away. And I also notice most of my big winners have been on small cap. This is Clean Energy, Tandem Health, Halliburton, sort of small cap. It's not huge. ENPH. We did take a nice short on the SPY, SP 500. Cadence. So these have been some of my big winners, and that's true for my open trades too. If I go look at the current open trades, I've got Canopy Growth's up 11%, Kimco Realty's up 12, Southwest Energy's up 11, TEVA, which is a pharma stock's up 13. So if I were to close all my current trades right now, we'd be up about 6% for the year. So a little behind pace, but definitely beating the indexes. So be thankful for that. And again, over year, the method I'm using has worked pretty well. Mike's asking, what's the indicator at the bottom? This is a momentum oscillator. It's actually called the optimum wave locator. It's a price oscillator that is helpful in interpreting price momentum. All right, so this week, again, I said I have many methods for scanning the market. And, try different methods. What you really want to do is just come up with thesis and theories and go test them and see if different approaches will take you to sections of the market that have good trade setups, right? In the past, I use this sector tracker tool. This is pretty cool. It's a great website. This is the SPDR. They provide a whole bunch of ETFs, various sectors of the market. And you can look at different time frames and compare the performance of various sectors. And that can draw your attention to sectors. But this week, I found some pretty interesting view by using this website. This is finviz.com. This is an awesome website. If you haven't used it, it's financial visualization. And what they've done is taken the S&P 500 here, and I've set it to 1 week. And this is pretty cool. So we actually have 500 charts in a heat map. And red means it went down, green means it went up, and the size of the square is based on market cap. And when you mouse over it, it'll show the other symbols in that sector. So the brighter the green, the more it went up. The brighter the red, the more it went down. And so I just looked at a 1 week picture here of this FinViz map, and you can see, wow, this whole technology block was down pretty strong. Utilities were up, industrial goods were down. Is the heat map also on TOS? This is a website. This isn't on the trading platform. So you just go to it. I'll put the link here in the chat area. There you go. I see a couple hands raised. Now, if you guys got questions, type them in. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and lower the hands. Or maybe you're just playing with the buttons, and that's okay. Okay. So let's. I want to take a quick poll. We got a good number of people logged in now. I showed technical analysis on the S&P 500. I think we got at least a short-term pullback coming. But what do you guys think? I'm gonna kick off a poll here. What do you think about the S&P 500 over the next 30 to 60 days? What's your outlook? And the possible answers are very bullish, somewhat bullish, flat, somewhat bearish, very bearish. I have no idea. Yeah, people are voting. Thank you. Yeah, log your thoughts there. We'll give it a chance for people to get their votes logged in, and then I'll share the results. Oh, interesting. The results are pretty interesting. We have a leader, but it's a very well distributed bunch of answers. Looks like normal distribution. And some good comments. Miles is holding put spreads. Patrick, it's always time to be cautious. You know, I use very strict risk control, Patrick, in my trading. Absolutely. Lloyd thinks SPX going over 2,800. Short-term pullback for Greg. KJ flat with big swings. Okay, about 3/4 of the people who are attending here have voted. It looks like the slowing down. So maybe everybody who's gonna vote has. All right, I'll go ahead and end it. I'll share the results. So hopefully you guys can see that. So pretty good distribution. Somewhat bullish is the winner by 1 vote, and somewhat bearish is nearly equal. Flat's kind of in the middle, but pretty evenly distributed. Somewhat bearish, somewhat bullish. A couple outliers, very bearish, very bullish, and some folks have no idea. Which it's a tough market to try and predict, isn't it? All right, I'm in this somewhat bearish mode, obviously, with my technical analysis. Maybe my vote makes them exactly even. I'll go ahead and turn that off. Thanks, that was cool. So let me make sure I'm sharing correctly again, the right screen. All right, hopefully you see my chart now after I switched from polling. Maybe a couple people type in why if you can see my chart. I think you should be able to. Okay, thank you. Thank you, EJ. All right, again, so I use this week for scanning. You know, again, I got a whole bag of tricks there for scanning, but I'm using FinViz this time. Love these ads, right? It's awesome. And what I did was I went through, you know, probably 100 symbols last night. I came up with some pretty cool ideas. So what I'm going to do, rather than, you know, it can be boring for you as you watch me go through charts that I don't like. So I made a list here of ones I do like. I'm just going to walk through them. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking on each one of these. And then for the ones that look pretty good to me, I'm going to log them here and on a spreadsheet. And at the end of this session, I'll put this up in my cloud thing and get you a link. Okay. Jerry says not seeing anything on the screen except my name. You see the chart now, Jerry? Did you push the right button? Got it. Okay, super. All right, so I'm going to go through and just based on, you know, my scanning through that FinViz list and again those big factors in the back of my mind, you know, this had a bunch of stocks I wanted to go look at. So I'm going to share those and again log the ones on this spreadsheet. At the end of the session, you'll have the opportunity to download that spreadsheet and do with it what you want. Okay, and ask questions as we go along here. Jump in with your comments. So a couple banks that I looked at, Morgan Stanley. So the Fed did their big stress test, and the banks marginally passed. And you can see of course, the big banks have been running up for several years and having a good, you know, pretty good session. They're starting to pull back. Look at this growing momentum. So here's Morgan Stanley, big run up. I'm using, this is, you know, an Elliott wave lexicon. This is a wave 3, big impulsive move. And it looks like there's a correction beginning, and the probability of the correction is down into this Fibonacci zone. So I got some pretty clear evidence that it's beginning because we got lower lows, lower highs. you know, well, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It's below the 200-day moving average. It's below the Ichimoku cloud. I've got negative momentum here. I got pretty good room to the target. This is the target zone. I still got some potential profit there. My stop would be at the last high. I took an entry there, and my profit target would probably be in the middle. So I got a decent reward to risk on this trade. So I'm going to poll you guys as we go. What do you? Anybody else like a short on Morgan Stanley? Just type in a Y or an N. That would be all we need. Keep it really, really simple. Yes. Got a bunch of yeses. Oh, I don't see a single no. Very cool. And so I'll put in crowd says yes, right? All right. Next one is JP Morgan. Looks very similar. Very similar. JP Morgan, the difference here is it just broke the 200 as opposed to Morgan Stanley, which I think has been under it for a while. So the JP Morgan, and it's got a little more, our stop would be here, entry here, target down here. So I think this has a little more profit potential. JP Morgan was a little behind in going down. Mike says, contrary indicator, the crowd says yes. Well, this is the smart crowd, right? So what do you guys think of JP Morgan short? Probably if you like the other one, you like this, right? Now, we certainly wouldn't take, I'm going to show another bank. It would not be clever to go take all of them at the same time. I think it's important to narrow it down, figure out which one you're going to take. Because if you take, here's another one, this is PNC Financial, pretty much the same setup. And so I'm going to put PNC on here. If you took all three, you're basically taking the same trade 3 times. And if you were going to do that, you know, take, you know, kind of smaller than normal positions, third size, you have your own little, you know, ETF going there, but don't take full-size positions in all 3 because they're probably all 3 either going to fail or win. And if they all win, that's certainly awesome, but if they all fail, that's very sad. Yeah, and only bet the farm if you're willing to lose the farm, and I'm not. Let's look at another sector here. Here's oil. So oil, obviously, let's look at the daily oil futures contract, continuous. Yeah, Dean Anthony, it's a good question. So you could do a little fundamental analysis. You know, you can go look at the short ratios and whatever other indicators you like. But there's 3 candidates there that you know, you can certainly focus in on, right? So I think that's helpful. Energy, you know, here's crude oil. It had a huge run up. It had a nice correction into a Fibonacci retracement zone. And of course, Friday, man, it was up 5%. It just powered up. Earl, what about the financial ETF? Yeah, not bad. You can do that. Typically, the ETF moves a little bit slower than individuals, but if you like that, you know, spread the risk around and stuff, you can do that. What is it, XLF? Got CVX, Whiplash. I'll bet you do, David. That's a Chevron, right? You know, the XOM, CVX have not been very tradable. They've not been good candidates. I've looked at them several times. Anyway, I think oil is getting ready to head up again. You know, it may pull back, but we got, you know, higher high, higher low, blah, blah, blah. We had the impulsive move. We had the correction. I think the next leg is getting ready to get cracking. Let's look. Let me see if it's XLF. Yeah, financial spider. It looks like some of those banks. Let me just, here's part of my thinking on this. Let's do a quick, let's see how quickly we can do some math. So here is the price target. And if we use the middle, say 24 is our target from 27, that's, you know, $3 out of 27, that's about a 10% move. Let's see how that compares to PNC. So if we go from 139 down to 122, that's $17. Yeah, so it's it's an equivalent. It's an equivalent. All right. Patrick says USO's nice. All right. Let me get back to my list. So energy, EPE. This is one I found that I think maybe looks good. It's going to be on my list here. What I like is, how badly it got beaten down and that it's trying to get a new trend going. So this is all the downtrend. It found a bottom. Look at this high, higher, low, new high. So this thing could, be taken off. And some of these smaller caps is where I've made some really, really nice profits. So EPE actually looks good. I would go check a few things, but look how it's way above the 200. It's pulled back to the Ichimoku cloud. So I think this high, higher, low, we could do another one of these, maybe up to this next resistance point, up to $5. So from 314 to 511, that's a 50% move, and that's sort of real. It's not guaranteed, but it certainly is possible. So what do you guys think of EPE? Give me a thumbs up or down. Just type in a yes or no on EPE. I'm just curious what you guys think. Yes, got a few up to 350, maybe. Yeah, well, nobody's barfing on it. Okay. Another USO, yeah, of course, right? We're not quite ready for USO yet. I've got an awful lot of analysis going on here. These lines, this horizontal line, green, blue, red, those are, when I'm in a trade, I use those to mark my entry, my stop, and my target. So the target on USO is up here. Let me make sure I got this right. I'm going to start from scratch. We've traded USO so many times, we've had a bunch of different lines on here. I'm on. All right, current move. There's the big impulsive move. The correction was a little shallow, but I think it was good. And now we're going to look at the extension on this up here. Get rid of that one. Okay, this is what the extension looks like on USO up to here. That would be my target. My entry would probably be wait till it breaks the cloud, and my stop would be probably somewhere down in here. So it's a little early, but USO I like. Yeah, we've made money on that. Alexander doesn't touch stocks below 10. Everybody's got to have their rules. USO long. What do you guys think about USO? I got a yes on USO. If for me, I gotta see it qualify. It's not ready yet, but do you like it as a candidate? Oh yeah, unclear, Robert. That's all right. It would wait. Yeah, I'm waiting. Yeah, but I'm gonna say the crowd says yes on this one. Okay. Back to the gentleman doesn't trade under $10. I say, hey, everybody's got to be comfortable with their trades and whatnot. But boy, some of our big winners have certainly been. We're in Southwest Energy, $5 stock, 11% profit right now. For me, it's more about liquidity and orderly market. Some lower price stocks certainly have big gaps and they trade at thin volumes. We don't want any part of that. But boy, we've here's a stock. Well, this wasn't under $10, but Tandem. We traded Tandem, and we got in under 10. Yeah, we got in down here in the $5 range. Nearly doubled our money in this thing, and it's still running. So yeah, they can do very, very well. So for me, it's more about liquidity and orderly market and other factors than the absolute price. I don't trade penny stocks. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, let's get back onto the list here. UNG. I'm actually in UNG now, and it's hovering right at the 200. I think that still looks good. So that's another trade idea. I would wait for it to get going back up again. That's a potential. Yeah, that's long. Kinder Morgan is another one I found last night. So Kinder Morgan looks like it is, this is new, right? This has been having a downtrend, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It did put in this high, but still lower lows, lower high. So it's been in this downtrend. I found out this is new. High, higher low, high, well, high, higher low, high. Broke the 200, got growing momentum here. So Kinder Morgan, nice volume on this thing. I kind of like it. F Trader, thanks for Tandem. You're still in it. Oh, you're rocking. You got to be in, you know, 200-300% profit on Tandem after Friday's pop. Unbelievable. So KMI is a potential long for me. I gotta think about it a little bit more. What do you guys, anybody like KMI? Don't be shy. A little sketchy on KMI. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's worth watching. The 200 is sloping down, but we're getting ready. We're breaking it. We're breaking it. I want to see a few more price bars above it. Needs oil. Yeah, I think the crowd's a little neutral on this. That's all right. Another sector, retail. So everybody's got a job now. Everybody wants a job. There's more jobs than there are workers. Wages aren't quite popping up yet. Look at Walmart. So Walmart had a nice wave 3 up, had a nice correction right into this Fibonacci retracement zone. It is channeling. So I'm not ready to take Walmart yet. I would want to see it break the 200. And by the time it breaks the 200, it would be well above the cloud. So Walmart above, you know, about 90.50 looks good. So that's a watch list item for me. But anybody else like Walmart? Ray likes it. Yeah. Concern over a China trade war, says Mark. Yeah, you know, it's mixed on how Walmart gets affected by a China trade war, right? They claim that an awful lot of their stuff is made in the U.S., but they also bring in a lot from China. So I think it's complicated. It's not a simple picture. So I would resort to technicals on Walmart. Again, it's not ready. It's a candidate, but it's not ready yet. Abdul says no audio. I think it's a local issue. JD partnered with Walmart. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Big internet player over there. Speaking of China, so let's look first at the emerging markets ETF. Pretty much almost in this retracement zone. Emerging markets have gotten beaten down. Right? Big impulsive move up, nice correction, almost in the correction zone. So it's a little late to chase the emerging market. The Brazil ETF looks kind of like that. But what about MCHI? What do you think about shorting the China ETF? I'm kind of tempted. Got a correction. Not a huge amount of profit, but the target zone is down between here and here. After this big run up, this is new, the sustained move below the 200-day moving average. That's new information. So KJ likes that. Anybody else? Yeah, government might step in. Yeah, they do that, huh? Yeah, it sounds like most people like it. So I'm going to say the crowd says yes on this. But not everybody. Donald wouldn't take it. Dean Anthony would not bet against China. All right. So I'll say yes with holdouts. All right. MCHI, yeah, what if, that could happen. What if Trump and China resolve their issues? We could wake up Monday to, a picture of them, big bromance. Yeah, we figured it all out. Everything's good, right? So there's that. Which takes us to the next one, Boeing, aerospace, or, trade war victims. So Boeing is starting to break down through support. The 200's way down here. You could wait to break the 200, or you could take a higher risk trade now. And even if it stopped at the 200, you'd have a small win from 338 to 311. And if it goes all the way, down to 250. So Boeing, again, put in a new high, but it broke the cloud. So this is a little early. It's a little risky. And that should be noted. That would be short on Boeing. Yeah, we're going to look at CAT in just a minute. Anybody like Boeing short? Give me your thoughts on that. Jerry says no. EJ, no, not yet. No, I think it will bounce. Yeah. So the crowd is no. For the most part. Mark, I'd wait. Yeah. CAT. CAT is a trade war victim coming up to a triple bottom, right? Boom, boom, boom. So would not take it. But what do you think of CAT short if it breaks this triple bottom? The target would be down here about 116. Sean likes that one. Questionable. Yeah. So that one, some of the other ones we identified, there was way more enthusiasm for them, for sure. Aerospace and defense. Dean Anthony likes it. Not going near CAT. Yeah, Raytheon, Ray. Raytheon for sure. Look how Raytheon, beautiful lower high, bounced off. It broke the cloud. Prior support now became resistance. So broke it, hit it, bounced under the 200, target zone down around 160. That looks like a pretty clear setup. RTN short. Who likes RTN short? Yeah, how you execute that, whether you short the shares, buy the puts, sell the calls, doesn't matter. It's all about what direction the chart going, right? That's the question. It sounds like, yeah, maybe huge defense coming, the Space Force, or it could be the Space Force. That's pretty far out in the future. Steve, yeah, the cloud is like a moving average. It's calculated a little bit differently, but you can think of this green and red line as different time frame moving averages, and the shaded area between them, it's projected. So moving averages don't get projected into the future, but Ichimoku cloud does, and it predicts where support would be and then where resistance would be potentially in the future. So it's a good indication. In a trend, you find support at the cloud, and then when it does break, you can go, aha, that's good evidence that the trend has ended and reversed. So UTX, United Technologies, is another, you know, among all the things they do, defense is one of them. And this looks like it might be setting up for a nice short. So, you know, a couple big moves down, low, higher, low, higher, low. This could be the next leg down under the 200. Got a target about 110. It's a little bit messy, but there's a pretty clear downtrend, and it looks like that next leg could be starting. So you could move on. RTN was definitely cleaner. What do anybody else like UTX short? Questionable, no, no. So the crowd's mixed. David, yeah, I use proprietary settings here on my Ichimoku Cloud. I don't use the factory settings, and you can see I've taken off some of the other, you know, the Kaijun Tenkan. They're all used in the calculation for the cloud here. I don't use the Chiku. So yeah, I'm a little bit different approach to Ichimoku. Mike says, what happens when you short a dividend paying stock? Well, you only get paid a dividend if you own the shares for the at the ex-dividend date, right? If you're a owner of record, and when you're short, you don't own shares. Technology had a couple that came up on my list here. Cisco. Robert says, if you're short dividend stocks, you owe the dividend. Is that true? Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, that would be something to be totally aware of. That's why I like options. I primarily trade with options. David, have I looked at Yandex? We're actually long Yandex. NVDA didn't have a pattern. LVS didn't have a pattern. Alexander, when I short a stock, where's my stop price? Well, I'll show you here on Cisco. So Cisco made it obviously in a big bull thing, right? It went up amazingly. The question is, are we getting a new downtrend? So probably not yet. Probably a little early on Cisco. So let's hold on Cisco. Applied Material was another one that I wanted to look at. Not a NAT, a MAT. Let's look at that chart on that, can't be right. So what do you think here? You know, of course, a huge, impressive rally in Applied Material. We had a correction, you know, back when the whole market did its thing, and it looks like it's going to happen again. This is a pretty clear low, lower high, low, lower high, low. You know, new lows being put in, momentum growing. Probably got a target down to about 39 on Applied Materials. That's on my radar screen to watch. Anybody else interested in a short on Applied Materials? And I'll answer the other. Somebody had a question. Where do you put your stop? So you see how this price pattern goes low, lower high, low. My stop gets placed at the prior high as we put in a new low. So that's where my stop would go. And then when it goes down, I'll just trail it down to the next high, down, 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 down. Okay, so the crowd likes that one. The short on AMAT. I got a couple more, and then we're going to look at your ideas here in a minute. One more was UPS. So on a shorter period, so UPS got absolutely hammered back in January, February. They've had a perfect retracement, and now they're starting to head down again, putting it, you know, low, lower high, low. They're turning negative. So this could be a move down under 98 on UPS. So that's worth watching. Probably not quite ready yet, but if it continues, we might have a good good short coming on UPS. What do you, anybody Yeah, Eva likes UPS. Anybody else like UPS short? Give me a thumbs up on there. Not in wave 4. Wave 4 was here, and it finished. It looks like it's starting wave 5. Crowds are real mixed. Real mixed. Okay, it's fine. That's a pretty good list we generated here, and I got some notes. You know, the symbol, the direction, what the crowd said on there. So, say at the end of the session, I'm going to upload that to the cloud, give you a link where you guys can download that. So let's take a few minutes. What charts are you interested in? Go ahead and type in a few here. And I know there was some earlier, but I was trying to focus on this. I kind of missed them. So Bob, SU. Again, my criteria may be different than yours, so it's all right. SU is Suncor. Suncor's been in a big uptrend. It looks like it's starting to consolidate and lose a little momentum here, doesn't it? So I wouldn't go long. I would not go long. And if it starts breaking down through this low or this one, then I'd be interested in a short potentially. JD, I'm a little worried about China. I showed the chart on MCHI. JD, you know, big high here. This thing has made these big swings, right? Low, high, new low, high. If this high fails, it could be heading down. It's under the 200 right now. So I wouldn't be trying to go long on JD at this moment. A little early to try and short it as well. There's some real support, so not really a play for me on JD. Cohen, InBev. And if one of these looks great, I'll put it on the spreadsheet. InBev, you know, big. So I hate these that do a huge move and then 100% retracement. I really hate it. So I just kind of ignore all that and look, is there a new trend? It tried, it failed at the 200. It's trying. It would really have to do something special to convince me that it's going to take off again. So I'm not crazy about InBev. And the volume's a little thin also. Tesla, you know, Tesla is such an emotional stock, more so than most companies. You know, they're either you love it or you hate it. You love Elon, you hate Elon. He's a visionary or he's the devil. It's a tough one to trade. It's a tough one to trade. And there's just no good technical setup here. It's too chaotic for me, so I'm not gonna play it at this time. There was a clear setup back here, a little more order. We took this short down here and did really, really well on this move, but now not so much. NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I mean, what a beautiful uptrend it's been. Last couple of days have pulled back. It's done this many, many times. So for now, that's still part of the uptrend. For me, that's way too late to try and chase that thing up. And there's no short setup yet. So there's really no trade on NVIDIA. You know, great company, great chart in terms of this trend, but no swing trade on it at this time. 10 cent, we already looked at JD there, Jerry, TCHY. Uh, 10 cent, man, maybe just like China, there may be a short setting up here. If we could take out this low, I'm gonna, man, maybe. And I was looking at that as a long, not too long ago. Costco. What a trend, huh? Off to new highs. Once it broke this prior high, there it goes. Now it looks impressive, but from 200 to 211 is only a 5% move. I mean, I'll take a 5% win, but it's not that big. And again, I don't chase mature trends. I'm not a trend trader. I'm a swing trader. There's no swing forming up. Wow. Netflix, when go long? Well, that'd be if go long. I'm going to sound like a broken record. I mean, what a phenomenal trend, right? Phenomenal. It's up 400% in this move. Do you really want to try and get long up here? I don't. I'm a swing trader, not a trend trader. Alexander, I think there's a higher probability for shorts below the 200, and you know, if you're going long above it, it's not a hard. You know, I don't look at one indicator. I look at the collection of all the evidence, and then say what, you know, based on everything we see, the wave count, the Dow theory, the momentum, Ichimoku cloud, the averages, you know, how strong is the case for the next move? So, you know, being above or below the 200 builds that case up, but. All right. There's no way I'm going to get to all of them. I'm sorry. ULTA for David. There's room left in this. So there was the big impulsive move up. I'll scrunch it. There was the big, you know, that's where you don't chase the trend because they correct. After the correction, looking for the continuation, we got some good evidence, right? High, higher, low, high, higher, low. Looks like it's up above everything. So it looks like it's got a price target up around 292, up above 300. So ULTA doesn't look too bad, actually. It swings, so you got to have fairly loose stops and be prepared for a roller coaster ride. Well, let me take a minute here. I'm gonna take this spreadsheet that we just created. It'll just take me 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna load it to the cloud. I'm gonna get you a link so you can download this. And hopefully that's a useful thing for you. I'm gonna just mute out, maybe if you wanna get your coffee or whatever, and then I'll get you that link in like 2 minutes. So hang tight. If I'd have been thinking, I would have had my teammate Eva ready to do this, and we could have made it faster next time. Meanwhile, any other questions you guys have? Eva was thinking the same thing. Mike wants to look at Fred and Kim. Kimco, we're actually in. I'll bring that chart up so you can look at it while this is. So my entry on Kimco was 1562. Our target's 19. We're marching smartly toward it. Kimco, a little late to be jumping into Kimco, but pretty awesome. I'm getting close. Donald, how do you contact my site? Well, I'll give you the link. There you go. There's the link to my homepage. Here's the link to this spreadsheet. All right. Somebody hit that. Make sure it works, that you download the spreadsheet, please. Don't want to hang up and then find out that there's an issue. I have not looked at that, EJ. Bob, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I just put together that spreadsheet with quite a number of trade candidates. And I gave you the link to download it. So, you know, hey, to follow along with my trade, you know, these are candidates, and you know, and I wrote some notes down here. You know, they have to meet my final criteria. Some may not. Some I may take. Some I may not. But yeah, there's some pretty good ideas there. Link works good. Perfect. All right. Hey, if you'd like to follow along with the trades that I actually do take, you know, so I run a stock picking service, I run a trading room, it's all part of the same service. And so, you know, here's the list of the current trades we're in. We're in 11 positions right now, and, you know, net profit on these is pretty good. Not every trade wins, not everyone's above water, but, you know, snapshot in time, we're doing pretty good, and we're beating the indexes, have done that for years. And we've nailed some pretty nice home runs lately on some smaller cap stocks. So just a quick snapshot based on a $50,000 account, all open trades. If we were to close them at this moment, we're in $2,000 profit. We've been in these from 3 to 4 weeks on average. So that's kind of how it goes. If you'd like to participate in that, I got an offer for you for people that attended this webinar today. So you can take a trial, give it a shot. And so for the trades they identified on that list, some of those I'm going to be taking, not all of them. But what you can do is, you know, take a trial for 30 days, see if it's a good fit for you. Because as these qualify, as I make my final decision about these, then I send an alert. People in the trade room see me do it real time in my account. They can take them then. People that don't have time to be in the trading room, hey, you get an email, you get a text message, it's posted on the website. You can go, and you know, once I'm in a trade, you know, I get the exact entry, the stop, the target. If you like options, I give an option contract that I'm using, and then through the life of the trade, you get an update. You know, hey, we're going to take profit, we're moving to stop, we're closing the trade. And there's a live chat session Wednesday night. You get a free one-on-one consultation with me to get started. And again, you're invited to the trading room, hour and a half in the mornings at the open, for an hour and a half as we look for new trades, we manage open trades, analyze them, just like we're doing here. So love to have you join and get a trial and participate, see if it's a good fit for you. Let me post the link here so you can go do that. And here you go. There's a link where you can go check that out and, you know, give it a shot, see if it's a good fit for you. You know, we got a good track record. All my trades, all the results that I claim on my website are verified. I think that's important. So, you know, again, there's my annual record posted. You want to see the details of the trades, complete transparency. There's every trade we took in 2017. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, win-lose ratio, all that stuff is posted, and my results are audited by a third-party CPA firm. So when I post it on the website, I send every quarter, I send my brokerage account statements to McSwain and Company, and they audit whether what's on the website is on my brokerage statements, and they produce a report. So I think that's important to have, you know, verified results, transparent results. Well, thanks for showing up, Don. So again, 30-day trial, money-back guarantee. Love to have you join and check it out. You're welcome, David. Well, thank you. There's a comment, Chandra. that your comment, Chandra, is only to me. That not everybody can see that. You gotta. Rebecca, the link above took you to the homepage. How do you find the stock list, please? Which stock list are you looking for, Rebecca? Cohen, thank you. Mike, glad you found it helpful. Chandra, post. Which one do you want me to post? I had the spreadsheet link, and then I had the trial. Yeah, with the trial, you get when I take a trade, you get an email and a text message. If you're in North America, and if you want it, you can opt into a text message, and it's posted on the website. Yep. Steve's just NA. I'm not sure what you mean, Steve. Yeah, text messages only work in North America, unfortunately. Everybody else, you still get a email alert when there's a new trade or a change, but texts only work in North America. Sorry. KJ, I do this about once a month, this Saturday scanning thing. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, I'm just going to hang out and answer any questions you guys have. The material to present is over. How many alerts do I send in a month's time? Typically, about 1 to 2 trades per week. So over a month, that would give you, between 4 and 8. Bobby, thank you. Yeah, if you got a question, go ahead and just type it in there. I'll put those links up again. Here is the link for the offer. 30-day trial. I will post this recording. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now because I'm just answering questions. So do that.